Good afternoon. We are doing order of operations, so lesson 1.2 today. So if you notice, these two posters are on the wall as well. This is our order of operations. We have parentheses, our exponents or our power, multiplication and division. Notice this poster has division on the top. This poster has multiplication on the top. So it really doesn't matter which one you do first. However, you have to just go from left to right, whatever comes first in the problem. So if you have division first and then later a multiplication going from left to right, you would really divide first. But if you have multiplication and then division, also going from left to right. Okay, so it doesn't matter which one is first, you're just moving from left to right. The exact same thing with adding and subtracting. Notice here subtracting is on top, notice here addition's on the top. It doesn't matter whichever one comes first from left to right. It could be subtracting, could be adding. So just some vocab here. Step 1, evaluate expressions inside grouping symbols. Those grouping symbols we call parentheses, so fill that in. Then our powers, we call that our exponents. And we just said we were going to multiply and divide from left to right. And then same with adding and subtracting. Add and subtract from left to right. This should not be anything new for you. You guys did this last year. So let's solve a couple problems. Evaluate the expressions and show your work. So this first one, we don't have parentheses. I'm going to write our order of operations on the top. There are no parentheses, so we have to do our exponent first. Exponents 3 to the power of 2 is really 3 2 times, or 3 times 3, which is really 9. So I'm going to rewrite this. 27 divided by 9 times 2 minus 3. Then we have division and we have multiplication, whichever comes first from left to right. So multiply and divide, we're really going to divide first. 27 divided by 9 is 3. Wrote out the rest of the problem. Still on multiplication and division, now we can multiply. 3 times 2 is 6. And 6 minus 3, the only step left is 3. Moving along in the middle, this next one, there's no parentheses, there's no exponents, but we do have multiplication and division. Just like before, go from left to right. First, we have a division. 18 divided by 6 is 3. Rewrite the rest. Then, still on multiplication and division, 4 times 3 is 12. So we have 12 plus 3, which is a total of 15. Last one here. Here we have two sets of parentheses. These ones are square. They're called brackets. They do the same thing as parentheses. It's just to tell them apart, to know that this parenthesis goes with this, and this with this. Okay? So within the parentheses, we still have to follow the order of operations. So we can't add 2 plus 8. We have to do the exponent first. 2 to the power of 2 is 2 times 2, 2 times, which is 4. Rewrote everything. Oops, let's divide. Perfect. Still inside the parentheses, 8 plus 4 is 12. Inside our parentheses still, 12 divided by 4 is 3. And we know that if two things are touching like this, that means we are multiplying. So 2 times 3 is really just 6 for our answer. Flip on over to the back side. We have a couple more with parentheses. Starting on the inside, I'm going to simplify this. 2 plus 3 is really just 5. So we have 4. 13 minus 5, and then on the outside of our brackets or parentheses we have a square. So following our order of operations, we've done parentheses, well the inside ones first. We still are on parentheses. We're not moving to our exponent yet. So 13 minus 5 is 8. Now we're done with our parentheses. We can move on to our exponent. 8 squared, or 8 times 8 is 64. So we have 64, and it is multiplied by 4. I'm going to multiply this out. 4 times 4 is 16. 6 times 4 is 24, but plus 1 more is 25. So our answer is 256. You could have also plugged that last step into your calculator. Moving along here, parentheses on the inside, 9 minus 5 is going to give us 4. So next, inside this parentheses, we really have 20 minus 4 squared. So we do have to do our exponent next inside our parentheses. Do not do 20 minus 4. Do the exponent. 4 squared is 16. Inside our parentheses still, 20 minus 16 is 4. And 8 times 4 is 32. Last one on this slide. Inside our order of operations, our parentheses here, this is a tricky one. Do your addition and subtraction from left to right. This is subtraction, this is addition, it doesn't matter. Go from left to right. So 8 minus 2 is going to give us 6. Still inside, 14 plus 6 more is going to give us 20. Inside our parentheses still, 20 times 2 is 40. And last, 40 plus 16 is going to give us 56 for an answer. Alright, our last slide. These two both have a division here. This is a little tricky because you can't actually divide while multiplying, following the order of operations. You have to simplify what's ever on the top and what's ever on the bottom first before you can divide. So simplifying the top first, order of operations, we're going to do our exponent first. 3 squared, or 3 times 3 is really just 9. So on the top we have 4 times 9, which is 36. On the bottom, 3 plus 1 is just 4. So 36 divided by 4 is 9. On the top here, simplify exponents first. 5 squared is 25, 5 times 5. So 25 minus 1 is 24. On the bottom, order of operations, multiply first, we have 10. 10 minus 2 is 8. 8 goes into 24 3 times. Alright, this last one, it might seem like a lot of work, but there's just a lot of words. We need to get rid of some of these words. It says there's too many words. One way a golfer can evaluate his or her playing is by using a number called a handicap. That's pretty cool, but we really don't need that information because it's not telling us anything that we need to do. Then it says the first step to calculating your handicap is to calculate your handicap differential. Also, cool, they're telling us what we're going to have to do, but we don't have to do anything quite yet. Then, the handicap differential is given by the expression. Okay, this is information we are going to use, where S is your game score, C is the course rating of the course you played, and L is the slope rating of the course. You play a course with a 72.1 course rating and a 129 slope rating. Your score was 90. What is the handicap differential? So using this equation, we're going to figure that out. Then round your answer to the nearest 10th. So let's take this equation. I'm just going to write it out. Parentheses, S. S is really our game score, and our game score was 90. Then it says minus C, and C is our course rating. The course rating was 72.1, parentheses. Our equation right here says just multiply by 113, and then divide by L. And L is the slope rating, so our slope rating was 129. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to plug this into my calculator. Following our order of operations inside our first set of parentheses here, I get 90 minus 72.1, and I get 17.9. Still inside our parentheses, multiplying that by 113, we get 2022.7. And then we're going to divide it by 129. I'm just plugging this in my calculator as I go. And I got 15.6798 and so on. However, they want us to round this to the nearest tenth. The nearest tenth is only one decimal place. So rounding just to this, the next number is higher than 5, so we're going to round up. So our answer is 15.7. We just calculated the handicap differential for this golf course. Alright, your homework is a worksheet, so make sure you finish that and get it turned in.